Welcome back to another Advance Wars by Web replay review. Today we've got a new contender for the title of Advance Wars Waifu, and this one's got a bit of a darker side. It's Kindle, the socialite of Black Hole, the elitist who looks down her nose upon all these lower class COs like Olaf. I mean, at least, you know, Drake is a sailor and Andy's a mechanic, but Olaf is just a peasant, and Kindle is here to put him in his place. Kindle brings her urban warfare to the mix. Units, even air units, gain 40% extra attack while on urban terrain. That's any capturable building, HQs, bases, airports, seaports, cities, labs, and comm towers. But your opponent isn't even safe on their own buildings because Kindle's normal power, Urban Blight, deals 3 damage to all of your opponent's units occupying such urban terrain. And Kindle's superpower, High Society, gives Kindle 3% extra attack per income generating property owned, HQs and cities and bases. So if I pop the superpower now on turn 1, I'd have 9% extra attack. Obviously, you want to use it when you got a bunch of cities, but generally popping Urban Blight over and over is just better. And then on the other side, we've got Olaf here to show Kindle that even peasants are to be feared. For you see, his background growing up in the tundra, makes him unaffected by snow, but rain affects him the same as snow would for others. So he's real good in the snow, but his vehicles cannot handle the rain. That's how you know Olaf is from Colorado. Olaf's normal power, Blizzard, turns the weather to snow for a turn, and Winter Fury turns the weather to snow and deals 2 damage to all enemy units. A very strong power indeed, and that's why Olaf is a stally CO. Olaf wants to just build up a bunch of army, have the play advanced walls, and then click his snow button, and then watch the opponent just get bogged down like Napoleon Bonaparte did when he tried to invade Russia. Now, let's introduce the players. In the red, as Kindle, you've got everyone's favorite 2-brain-celled toad, also known as a me, rated around 1,000. And in the blue, you also rated around 1,000, Sniper Pal, who's actually beat me in 2 games before. I've never been able to take a game off Sniper Pal. Will I be able to have my revenge, or will Sniper Pal complete the trifecta and assert their dominance over me and officially adopt me Advance Wars style? Alright, so this is pretty typical opening of what I've seen on this map. Generally, like red and blue want to be very aggressive on these forward cities right here. The strong side for red is over here on the left because you got these 2 bases and the airport also on the left. You've got these forward HQs, and usually this map I've seen comes down to is whoever could push their strong side better. You've got these corner comm towers that come under attack along with the HQs, and usually just the first area that falls is going to determine the game. I believe this map is called Ironforge Passage, and Sniper Pal actually beat me on this map before. The game was not that exciting because I just blundered the whole entire game, but this game is definitely a lot more exciting. Oh, what's this? What's this? We got the medium tank opening. That's right. We are throwing all logic out the window for the medium tank. And I actually had a plan with this. I figured that a medium tank on a city would have enough attack to be able to counter a Neo tank from Olaf. And this medium tank right here is just a Neo tank prediction. That's all it is. Now, I've seen Neo tank openings, I've seen rocket openings, I've seen just 50,000 tanks openings, but right here, this is just a call out for the Neo tank, and I'm like, I think the medium tank in city will be able to counter a Neo tank, and it's my weak side anyway. Oh, but there it is! My opponent is not afraid of the Neo tank call out and builds the Neo tank, which makes a lot of sense because the Neo tank is shaped like a snowball, which is Olaf's go-to right there. And will the Neo tank be able to snowball all over my army? We'll see. Infantry move up, start in the airport, and this is pretty typical. I build a tank over here on my strong side. I got to be really aggressive on the strong side. I can't just let Olaf, like, you know, I got this medium tank and everything, but I can't let Olaf just run roughshod over the right side of the map. And then I build an artillery to back up the medium tank. Artilleries are not too good on the weak side on this map, but I watched a Degis video where he said that medium tank artilleries are good for defending and neo tanks are good for attacking, and they both cost the same amount. So I was like, I think between these two, I think I can hold off this neo tank. That's like all I have to do is hold this area and win this area, and that's pretty much the plan on this map as far as like every game I've seen. I've only seen one game where that doesn't happen, and it was just because someone made some bad blunders, and like, but I think like against like competent players, you know, you gotta like be strategic and like attack where you're strong on the strong side. Okay, so the medium tank goes on the city, and this right in neo tank range, and this is just a hardcore trap right here. I'm trying to lure this neo tank in to attack. Let's go to Olaf's turn and let's take a look at this calculation. If the neo tank were to move here and attack from the forest on the medium tank, okay, that knocks the medium tank down to 5, and then that knocks the neo tank back to 8. So 5, but then the medium tank gets healed back up to on my turn, and if I attack, then I knock the neo tank down to 5, and then the medium tank would go down to 4, and I think that is a very good trade for me. I can also bring the artillery into support, kind of block it off with some infantry, and be set. So this medium tank move is like a trap. I'm trying to get my opponent to go in here so I can inflict mega damage on that neo tank. But Olaf is showing some restraint. Well, maybe not this guy. This guy just running right up, right under my nose, trying to just take this city right in front of this artillery right here. So, bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. But showing a lot of good restraint here. Puts the neo tank on the good forest terrain so I can't get a free attack, and just playing away from the cities, which is smart. That's how you counter Kindle, is you don't allow those city shots. And then Kindle's powers just become absolutely worthless. But we have another artillery from Olaf to counter my artillery and start going in on this city. Now obviously this is not going to go through. Well, maybe if Olaf decides to let me have it, but this city counterattacks will be able to do a lot of damage to these infantries, and I'm just trying to like slowly win this area. Yeah, this artillery and this infantry easily pick off this guy. That guy was a little bold there, but now I back off over here, and the medium tank could get a nice shot there, but I was thinking the artillery could the neo tank could get a shot on the medium tank right there. I was thinking the artillery could hit, and then maybe the medium tank could wrap around and get a city shot for some more extra damage. But I think overall that Olaf would actually win that. But it's good value. Now I got a copter in the air, because even the air units get Kindle's city bonus, and copters are really good on this map. This map is pretty open, so you know it's not like the copters like can just dance around mountains until with anti-airs, but they're still really strong, especially against like neo tank artillery, all those kinds of things. Alright, Olaf is gonna actually let me have this city and put a defensive formation right here in the Olaf Stali manner. So my opponent definitely knows what they're doing, and it is not, and is showing the world why they have beaten me twice before. And trying to go in over here again, expecting a shot, but I'm just trying to play for that counterattack damage right there. And I use the medium tank to take this guy out, use the artillery, infantry to block. So again, trying to force that neo tank in. But Olaf knows better. Olaf's not going to just go in, but I'm able to take out this guy, bring this tank in to get a nice city shot on this guy, start capping, take him out. So I've got a few infantry KOs, but nothing too special. Just pretty good micro over here to be able to free this city up. It does take a good shot, and this is pretty good. 7-6 against the Kindle infantry is solid. Brings this tank back. You definitely don't want to leave it around here with these tanks and artillery in the way. And yeah, decent formation over here from Olaf. Everything is somewhat protected. It's not like full coverage on everything, but all the important things are protected, so good position there. Over here on the right side, Olaf moves up, and now good placement from the artillery right here. It covers the city, so I can't do my medium tank shenanigans. And then if my medium tank were to attack the artillery, then the Neo tank would just pulverize it. So I gotta be really careful about that. And the Neo tank also blocks off the artillery. So good position there from Olaf. We got a little bit of advanced walls going on. But the more Olaf walls, the more like Olaf is walling and not pushing on their strong side. So that means I can just try to stall Olaf out over here and push really hard down here. Alright, going in with the copter. That's a free shot. There's no anti-airs to trade this out. And going to pick up that infantry. Gonna put the tank on the HQ for that extra terrain. And start this city as well. And same thing with this. I'm trying to make Olaf engage and take bad terrain engagements and also get that extra 40%. So Olaf maybe should have kept some units over here on those buildings, but also you got to be careful that the copters don't get free shots on tanks. So that makes a bit of sense why Olaf did that. And I retreat over here. And I built another medium tank ready to help supplement this, because I don't think this one medium tank is just going to cut it. But now back to Olaf. Day 11, and Olaf decides it is no longer advanced walls, takes out the infantry, and is going in on all these infantry with the tanks. But unfortunately for this tank, this artillery is right there, and then I can put this tank on the city, and it has no chance with those two units attacking. There's the anti-air getting ready to counter the copter. Good shot there. This 5 HP tank actually dealing 4 HP back, though, is huge. Usually you'd see like a 5-8, but that extra 40% attack really paid off right there. But now look, Olaf is done messing around, going in on these two cities right here, and just trying to swipe them right from under my nose. And there's also a copter over here from Olaf. Neo tank moves up, gets a city shot on the medium tank, knocking it all the way down to 2. Bang! Good shot there from Olaf. Or was it? Because look at this. Look at this charge. Olaf takes a shot. Bang! That's 13k charge right there that I just got. And I only needed 27k to get Urban Blight. And it just so happens that Olaf has the most expensive unit on his city. And these two interrupting. So that Urban Blight is going to be devastating. I just need to get 3,500 more charge. Should be easy. All I need to do is like kill a tank, and this tank's the perfect target with this artillery right here. So, but brings the artillery back up to cover these infantry, and the artillery takes a shot on the Neo tank, and gonna take a shot over there, and bang, take out the tank. Gonna take a few more engagements just to get a little bit extra charge, and there goes the Urban Blight, knocking the Neo tank down to 3, and now the copter able to knock it down to 1 HP. And Semi-Original Guy would really like what's about to happen right here, because the 2 HP medium tank finishes off the Neo tank, and this swings the entire battle on the right side. That Neo tank going down was huge, because there's really nothing that can counter this second medium tank right here. And the copter, like this artillery is still dangerous, but I could build an anti-air. I was even thinking of triple base skipping for a fighter and going full baboon mode, but because look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the copter is actually covered. But I was worried about the Winter Fury coming in, so instead I'll do something different. But first, I'm going in over here. I'm using 2 infantry to take out this, and then able to interrupt this with the city bonus. Easily takes out that infantry. And this artillery will be able to get a free shot on something, but I've got the medium tank to trade out. And so that little skirmish there was huge. I join cap and block, take out the tank, and I bring the copter right here. Air units can only move 3 spaces in snow. So I wanted to make sure my copters are within 3 spaces of each other, so this copter can't just get a free shot. But that Neo tank pickup was huge. Build an anti-air as well, another copter. And Olaf now will start going in, and trying to get that Winter Fury. But just kind of gives the artillery a little bit of protection over here. Goes in on the HQ tank, and oh man, that I forgot to mention, the Urban Blight also increases that city attack bonus. And with that increased city attack bonus, plus the HQ's got the best defense in the game, plus the 10% for popping my power, that only knocks this tank down to 7 and is able to deal 7 damage right back to that tank. So thanks to that extra firepower, a little bit better for Olaf over here, but still very strong. But Olaf is not able to get the Winter Fury this turn, needs another 2k. So maybe doing some infantry engagements over here would have given Olaf the Winter Fury, and Olaf might be in a good position after that Winter Fury, but at the same time, Olaf really doesn't have a whole lot of units to commit over here at this point. And even with that, even if that Winter Fury goes off, this copter can still shoot this one right here. So maybe not like devastating for Olaf not to get the Winter Fury, but Olaf's guaranteed getting it next turn. So I have to hunker down, prepare for the snow, get an interrupt, knocking this infantry down to 1 HP. Gonna shoot at the pipe seam for giggles. Sometimes it gets broken, and then you really can attack the comm tower side, but I'm going after the HQ. So I take a shot there, bang, bang, take out the 2 tanks with the aid of that city bonus. And I bring these back, gotta just hunker down, get stuff on buildings, get ready to get healed. I use the weakened copter and this infantry to finish off this weasel infantry right here, trying to sneak in on the right side. Bang, take out the copter and retreat everything. Just try to hold up for the winner. Shoots the infantry right here and take it out. Just trying to reduce Olaf's numbers, because Olaf is then going to attack, get the nice city terrain. And I save all the money because I know that Winter Fury is coming, so I just built 3 infantry. And because I didn't want like a big expensive unit getting hit and having repairs on it, so I just built 3 infantry, knowing that winter is inevitable. And I don't even have time to sit here and pass gas before the snow slams into my army, and bang, taking a whole bunch of damage off of that, and now Olaf will begin the counter-attack. Bang, infantry easily attacks the tank on the HQ, artillery finishes that guy off, and these infantry, they're stranded out there in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the tundra, and they will also get picked off, and Olaf has now reclaimed this area, at least for the time being. Copter goes over here to help out with the HQ defense. This copter, nice free shot. This copter is, with the reduced movement, cannot trade. This anti-air cannot get there, and anti-air also takes this tank down to 1 HP. And we got another Neo tank over here from Olaf, ready to avenge its fallen brethren and slam into my army over here. Now we got to deal with the snow. I'm able to take out this infantry, but I was looking at this during my turn, and I was like, wait a minute. Look at all these roads on the map. Roads do not have any snow penalty associated with them. So like, take this like medium tank for example. It can use these roads and still actually have some good movement. Same with this medium tank. Like, if it was more than 1 HP, it could be a huge threat right now, because like it's not snowed down by the slow. I don't know what's that phrase where you like mix up like 2 words. There's like a term for it. But I did that on purpose because I was stuttering. It's not slowed down by the snow. I just remember clearly this ref I had when I played in church league basketball in high school. Is like, if you have a rule about a question, and everyone knew what he was trying to say, but like, it's just funny when you mix up those words. Okay, so going in, and I use the medium tank, able to take out an infantry. It's far away from the artillery, so that's a free shot. But otherwise, I'm just kind of just hunkering down, waiting for winter. And actually, the anti-air could take a free shot there too. This tank can't get there, so yeah, just kind of hunkering down over here, bring the artillery and tank back, and just trying to play a little patient. And actually, Olaf and I are now similar in army value. 70. Olaf's got 100 more army value than me, so very close there, almost a dead heat. But I've got 4 more cities, and I've got 8 more units, but it's mostly just infantry. And And now I build a bomber, and we are setting our sights on that HQ. We're regrouping for a push. We're gonna build some nice expensive air units, and we're gonna go in on that HQ. Build an artillery as well, because I like artilleries, they're the best. Going in, and takes out that copter. Neo tank rumbles forward, ready to have another go on the medium tank, but Olaf retreats the artillery right here and groups up, waiting for another winner to come in. This tank finishes off that 1 HP tank, gets a copter strike. Anti-air goes in, and a couple free shots on infantry that I had, but I just wanted to keep my vehicles safe during the winter. And now we almost have another Urban Blight. Artillery is able to shoot this infantry and take a couple shots. Finally able to take out this infantry right here. It only took like 3 units, and using the 8 HP and the 2 HP to combine, trade off the copter. Bomber moves up. Medium tank, the most overkill shot ever. Medium tank from a city on a 1 HP infantry. We don't need to pull out the calculator for that one. Take a shot, and even the 7 HP tank able to inflict a lot of damage to that tank right there. Kind of protecting my tank over here, just regrouping for a final push on that HQ. Shooting the pipe seam for no reason. Another anti-air, because I was worried about these copters, and I was worried about this anti-air maybe getting picked off. You gotta be careful, like you got 2 copters right here, and I figured I had enough tank presence. Alright, back to Olaf, going in, bang. That infantry had no chance, but this city will be picked up next turn. So I will be up 5 cities. Copter goes in on the artillery, and so does this tank. So the poor artillery has now been evaporated. But I will be able to trade this out. Anti-air will be able to trade out the copter, and then bomber will be able to trade out the tank. So not a good value trade for Olaf, but Olaf is trying to make something happen. Going in on the right side. Starting the cities again. 3rd time's the charm. And got the Neo tank, artillery back up. Builds a fighter. Okay. Cue Kenny Loggins' danger zone, because we've got Top Gun. This fighter right here is about to just annihilate this bomber. In fact, a fighter at full HP one-shots a bomber, and a fighter at 9 HP brings the bomber down to 1. So if I pop Urban Blight next turn, the fighter will still be able to do significant damage to the bomber, and it'll still be able to one-shot every copter. Maybe putting the artillery here would be a little bit better for Olaf in terms of like having coverage, but I might be able to break through with the medium tank, the anti-air, and the bomber, so I might be able to get a shot on that artillery if Olaf would do that. But the fighter does cover a substantial amount of squares here, so you know, maybe, but yeah, as I said, that copter gets traded off, this tank is traded off, and I build a fighter of my own. We're about to have a duel in the skies, ready to avenge my bomber with the fighter. Right now the bomber's out of range of the fighter, but I need something to counter this fighter. Anti-airs are not that good at countering fighters because the fighters are just too fast. They just can kite the anti-air, and I activate Urban Blight. So they're gonna have to spend a lot of money on the tank and the fighter repairs. Going in over here, taking out this infantry, trying to capture my city. That's unacceptable. Artillery takes out a guy, and starting this one, because might as well. Olaf is not covering it, and I'm up 5 cities. And that Neo tank tactic over here kind of swung the whole balance of the match. And I think ever since then, Olaf's been trying to play from behind, take out the anti-air in the HQ, and start it. Just trying to occupy the nice urban terrain there, and try to force Olaf to dedicate some forces into it, so I can counter this incursion over here a little bit more effectively. And going in with the medium tank, clang, takes out that infantry, no problem. Have another medium tank. The medium tank that first took out the first Neo tank is coming back in for seconds. There's the artillery backup also. And now back to Olaf. Olaf's got to make something happen. Goes in on the HQ infantry, knocks this tank down to 1 HP, knocks the copter down to 1 HP, and I don't know if those were rolls, but having 1 HP can really help block on this map, because this 1 HP tank can go here, blocking the base, same with the copter, and there's the Neo tank. It has avenged its fallen brethren by destroying the Neo tank that destroyed it. Unfortunately, it is within artillery range. But this infantry is not having it. Takes a shot at the artillery, and there's the fighter. The fighter here, covers literally all of Olaf's army. My fighter is too far away. My anti-air is too far away. So good positioning from the fighter there. And takes out an infantry, I think, right there. And let's see what we can have happen. I'm able to pick up this city. I'll do that eventually, I think. I joined Cap the HQ. It's now down to 7 capture points. So Olaf has to get the interrupt there. And I use the 1 HP copter, not shooting at the tank. Just trying to block the tank from on the base there. And the tank will have to rotate this way. Anti-air trades off the copter, but still cannot get to the fighter. So that fighter will be able to launch its missiles at any of my air units next turn. I go in over here on the left, and I sacrifice the 2 HP copter for damage because this Neo tank, it had to go. It was unacceptable. I was not having it. I was not having that Neo tank. It killed my medium tank, man. The medium tank that killed the first Neo tank. The copter, or the bomber, I mean, had a slight chance to actually not kill the Neo tank. I think it's a 10% chance that the Neo tank survives with 1 HP. That is unacceptable. We must sacrifice the 2 HP copter, which deals 5 to 6% damage, to guarantee one-shot the bomber taking out the Neo tank. Now the fighter will be able to trade, but I figured, hey, they're both equal cost. I'm winning really hard on cities. Like, I can afford to take that trade. Take a couple I moved this artillery back and take a couple medium tank shots. So I have successfully halted Olaf's incursion and able to take a shot here and try to block a little bit, but move this fighter up. So unfortunately, there's no way to trade out this bomber should the fighter attack from here and Winter Fury gets popped. Like anti-air 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's not crossing those woods. So fighter goes here. Roll first, pop Winter Fury, then fighter goes here. Bang, bomber's down. This fighter can only move 3 spaces, so it's not trading it out. And yeah, at least the bomber gets picked up, and Olaf can get some value off of that. But there's the Winter Fury. And this 3 HP tank, nice job to free up this tank right here. Now it can go and smack this 7 HP tank. Bang! Good shot from Olaf there. Goes for the interrupt, knocking this infantry down to 2. So 7 capture points, but the 2 HP infantry is going to take a while to actually get it. Artillery now covers the HQ. Going in on some infantry right here. Sacrifices that infantry for damage. This infantry finishes it off. And the fighter actually decides to attack my fighter. Knocking the fighter down to 2. That cripples the fighter. However, I would say that going over here, one-shotting the bomber, and then ignoring the fighter because it won't be able to reach anything. The fighter actually moves 4 in snow. Oh, I thought it was a flat 3. I guess it just cuts it in half, rounding down. The fighter would still not be able to trade out the bomber. So fighter goes here, bomber's dead, and then that's huge value for Olaf right there. But unfortunately with this attack, yeah, it does bring my fighter down to 2. There's no air units that Olaf has that this fighter has. So like the fighter doesn't even have any targets. And then this 8 HP anti-air can easily trade out that fighter. But there's another fighter. Okay, so we got another fighter coming in. So maybe the fighter attack was, Olaf wanted to dominate the skies and make sure my fighter's going down. But unfortunately, with this anti-air right there, it's not going to be good value for Olaf. But yeah, I actually bring this anti-air back and use both of them to be able to trade out the fighter. And I don't even cap here because I don't expect this to go through. I just taken out some 1 HP infantry, bring this guy back to get healed, start this, bomber retreats and almost takes out that infantry. And just trying to regroup again because it's winter, I can't really go in. I just gotta halt, Can't be like Napoleon. You gotta, when winter comes, you gotta back off. Bang, take out that infantry. Now I'm threatening the comm tower. Build some more units, get another bomber to replace this bomber. And Olaf resigns. And I pick up my first win out of sniper On Sniper Pal, I'm now 1-2 against them. So still not have that winning record right there. And why would the stats display work? Why would it work? Okay, let's see if we get these stats graphs to work. Maybe if I like keep the webcam on while the stats graphs load, it'll actually load. And if I turn the webcam off too early, the website will magically know that I've turned. Oh, see, I kept the webcam on like I'm gonna cover up the stats, and then it worked. That's the key right there. Okay, turn the webcam off. All right, let's take a look at army value. So that first Urban Blight turn, when that Neo tank went down, that caused a precipitous drop in Olaf's army value that I was able to capitalize on. But when that Winter Fury happened, that dropped my army value big time, and then we were pretty much equal after that Winter Fury. But I had had a couple really good turns there that catapulted my army forward, and again that Winter Fury just dealt so much damage to my army right there on that last turn. Look at damage dealt, and yep, Urban Blight turn dealing a lot of damage right there, and then those last couple turns with those Neo tank takeouts, also a ton of damage. But Olaf did not. Let me get the webcam back up. Olaf did not necessarily play like super bad. Olaf just made that one big mistake with the Neo tank, and I think Olaf didn't expect like me to get Urban Blight that quick, because I had like no charge. I had like 3/4 of a bar of charge, and then that I maybe had like 1 and a little bit. I had like 10k, and then went to 23k after that shot on the medium tank, because that's 13k of value. And I think that's something you have to like just keep in mind with when these high value units are flying around, because you get that charge so fast. Because I think if Olaf had considered the Urban Blight, wouldn't have put the Neo tank on that city to get that city shot. And in fact, if the Urban Blight wasn't there, that Neo tank shot would have been really good, because I would have brought the copter in, have the artillery do some damage, so maybe knock that Neo tank to 5 at the lowest, and then the Neo tank is still big chilling, and then it can just retreat after that. It's done its damage, taken out a medium tank, and then it retreats. So yeah, a very interesting game indeed, where it shows you like kind of how this map is sharp, how one tactic can kind of change the tide of battle, and hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.